Good afternoon once again, or maybe for the first time, and welcome to sunny South Beach here in Bridlington, as we are about ready to wrap up our NEVZA Junior Beach Championships. European qualification spots have been earned, and now the matter of the medal, gold or silver. We'll have 4 straight games here on centre court to decide the winners, and we will start in the under-18 women's category, as we have a Norway-Finland battle. Stina Finnhof and Uda Skarland from Norway, our number 3 seeds, will take on Iris Havelina and Nelly Walden. Michael Hansen-Morris, and delighted to be joined alongside for this one by one of the England under-18 players, Jen Rates. Jen, welcome to the commentary booth.
Hello, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me. Oh, thank you for having me.
Indeed, and Jen, obviously the under-18s competition you know well, you've been in it all week. Just talk about the level of play across the whole week.
It's been really, really good. I've seen players better than I ever have before in my life. It's been amazing. And yeah, I think future of volleyball is here. It's been really, really cool.
And obviously you played with Christina this week.
I did.
Made the round of 12 and narrowly lost out 19-21 in the round of 12 as we get ready for our final. But obviously I know you were kind of hanging around this morning in the semi-finals, hotly contested semi-finals, especially in the all-Finland battle. We'll talk about that in a more, but what are you expecting to see from this final? 2 of the best teams in the competition.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of big swings. That's what I noticed from both these teams, is they're swinging really, really big. They're all very tall, which is awesome. And yeah, Norway dominated in their semi-final, so I'm really excited to see what they're going to do now.
As our officials for this game just being introduced, across from us, Roberto Rigamente from England, and in the chair, Sarah Hanrahan. And we are going to welcome the Norwegian team first to the court, and they're number 1, Stina Finnhof, and then number 2, Uda Skarland, both of them 16 years old, and in their first NEVZA here in England. We'll talk a little bit about their other NEVZA appearance as we go. And the Finnish team, wearing number 1, Iris Havelina and Nelly Waldron, 2 15-year-olds, Jen, so not quite 18-year-olds holding up their end of the bargain, but great to see the youth on talent, as we saw with your teammates on our left, Robin and Tilly, as well, in the bronze medal game.
Definitely.
So about ready to go in this final. We'll talk a little bit about the team's journeys as we go. And we're about ready to go. So Finland in the white, Norway in the red, and it'll be the Finnish team. Number 2, Nelly Waldron, to get us underway, and she starts with an ace, and that's always the best way to start a game, right, Jen? On the service line, and 1 point, 1 swing. As Nelly again trying to find that seam, this time well played, and they're going to call an early double touch on Stina. But Jen, obviously, you see early, both serves trying to go down that seam, and how important is that trust and relationship as a team to try and deal with those middle serves down the seams?
Oh, it's always tricky. It's just really important. You've got to establish it beforehand, and there's always confusion, but just got to work together. And kind of the more you play together, the more you realise who's taking what, who wants to hit from where, and kind of work around it.
As that one goes over the baseline, and that'll be the first side out for Norway, and it'll be their number 2, Uda, on the service line, trying to go cross court. Well handled by the Finnish pair. That ball off the net, drifting and a little bit wide, but right idea, trying to push the ball deep into the corners. The wind again just starting to pick up, and feels like another direction change. We don't have this time it's kind of a tail crosswind from the camera you see on the baseline and the camera side going out towards the seat, as both teams trying to find a bit of rhythm, and a lovely little roll shot over the top by Uda. Again, just seeing that defensive shift to the left and knowing where that space was over the top of the block. As we've got line judges as well for the final. As that one's a big swing down the line, and not a lot you can do about that from a defensive side. We'll have a look at that one again.
Big swing.
And again, just the eyes as well, starting to read the, not just the block, but the defender, and that shift across to the right, ball going the opposite direction. As Iris. And another double contact called by Steen, frustrating early on. Just get called for a couple of double touches, but Jen, the referees will be very consistent with the way they've called things this week for the players.
They have been. They've called a lot of doubles, I'll admit. Not from me, thankfully, but a lot of doubles all around. So I guess that's to be expected. But
As that one parked right into the corners. The blocking signal came that they were going to block on the cross, but managed to beat the gap. And that one into the net as Molly Quinn joins the England group to our left that are stayed in to support both teams in the finals. As nice cut attempt by Uda, but a little bit too much on it. And Jen, it's something in the wind we've seen a lot of teams use a little bit more of this week, that kind of tight cut shot, and really try and off-balance the off the block that way.
yeah, definitely.
As left-handed swing by Stina, a little pokey into the corner. And Stina tight to net, and they're going to call net contact on Finland. And a very confused looking Iris right in front of us.
Bless.
But I think she just clipped her net on the way up to try and send the block up. And now the little pokey over the block. Great pickup by Uda. And both teams playing defense. Nelly this time with the two-handed control. Norway in control of the rally though. And another pickup. And that one not able to get on the second contact, and really good defense, Jen, by the Finnish pair in front of us, keeping the ball live, but also putting a little bit more height on it, just to give themselves time to recover.
Yeah, definitely. And that's something that, because it's been so windy the last few days, I think everyone's been trying to keep it low. So now that the wind is gone, it's giving some nice opportunities to be playing high again.
As the set kind of exactly over the top. It wasn't quite the perfect set by Nelly. The ball kind of went vertical, so she kind of had to backpedal out the way of the incoming teammate of Iris, and that is a side change. 8-6 the lead for Finland early on. And obviously changing sides every 7 points for trying to balance out some of the conditions. As Jen said, the wind has calmed down quite a bit, but still obviously a little bit of an advantage serving with the wind. There's another cut shot there, that over on one. So Finland, a little pokey. Another great athletic pickup. And longest rally of the game. Steen left-handed on to the line. That's a big point by Norway. Jen, you picked up on it. Big hustle by both teams mid-rally. Is that left-handed pokey, and Jen, not many left-handers in this tournament.
No?
So just talk about the impact of playing a left-hander compared to the right, as from a defensive side of the court.
Well, I've actually not played a left-hander so far, but I think from what I've seen, I think it makes lining up the block much more difficult, because obviously they have different options on the attack as to where they can get the strongest swing in. So it's a bit harder to just set up like you would normally. But Finland seems to be handling it quite well so far.
As that one heading into the crowd. As the ball, again, you just saw that just
I've been there.
move late, and not a lot you can do. That ball moving into the wind, which made it even more impressive. As the ace serve by Nelly, and she gets another one.
2 for 2.
And that one didn't move at all, and that's the difficulty of beach volleyball, right?
Yeah, definitely.
This time you play for the win, don't get it. Interesting that
They just swap sides.
Swapped sides indeed. As a little pokey touch hits the top of the net.
Ouch. She was there.
And the tape holding up the ball and position. You've been in plenty with that ball just balancing on top. And they're going to take a timeout of the team from Norway, Stina and Uda, 12-7. And Jen, talk about the impact of the timeout. You obviously only get the one on the beach, but having the technical timeout as well, using it late before the technical timeout can really flip the momentum, because you know you're only going to go out and play 1 or 2 points and then have another time to break and kill. So if you don't get the momentum swing you want, you've got a second opportunity coming up.
Yeah, definitely.
And what do you think the team from Norway are talking about? Obviously, that service run from Finland being the big thing, but it doesn't feel like they've quite managed to set up the attack well. They're not quite setting in the right place right now.
No, it seems like Finland's being able to get a lot of block touches, or at least a lot more than they should. Considering Norway's quite a tall team, so they should get a lot of reach around that block. But maybe in the wind or whatever, they're not setting up quite right for it. But you know, I'm sure they'll get on that.
So both teams heading back out onto the sand. And seen it so many times, service timeout, serve into the net or long, and the immediate service there off the timeout. So the impact Norway wanted, but this will be the important point for them. Can they get a
coach's point?
Break point now to go into the technical timeout as the roll. There's the block touch.
That's what they've been looking for. All that reach on the block. There, you can see it. Got so high up there.
Got high up, but also read that it
she saw it.
line up directly either. Kind of had an idea of maybe the ball going into the right-hand side. Definitely. And the little block touch finds the point. So we're in the technical timeout. 12 plays 9 for the team from Finland. And we talked about the Norway team. We said they played a little bit together. Have Stina and Uda 9th in the zonal tour, regional NEVZA in Odden, Norway. A couple of weeks ago, sent a couple of British teams out there.
Yeah,
but
we did.
Had a really strong tournament. Went through all 4 games until this morning. It was the first time they dropped a set was this morning, having gone through the group stage and beat our 4th place team, Tilly and Robin, in the group stage 21-17, 21-14, and then came through a quarter-final 22-20, 21-14 before the game this morning, and they replayed Tilly and Robin and cruised to victory in that game. So a perfect tournament so far for Norway. 8 sets played, 8 sets won, but they'll need a comeback if they come, and they're going to have to deal with that as a lovely little pokey over the block by Nelly. And Finland have the first point out of the technical timeout, 13-9. As Oda steps up and fires the ball down the line, wide of the block. Sorry, not the block, because they peeled off the net. Neither one knows at the net. And it will be serving down the middle. As great athleticism to dive over a teammate, but couldn't quite rescue it. But again, effort and huge athleticism by the Finnish pair. But again, Norway trying to attack that seam on the serve. We saw that early on in this match as well by the Finnish pair, trying to go down the seam as that one into the net. Yes. Will be Nelly on the serve, goes to the float serve. That one just misses the baseline. The wind not quite helping that one dip on time. So back-to-back service errors. We are 14-12 in set 1 as that one again also goes long. And how frustrating are those for players when you build some momentum coming in, you just make that error and just give a team an easy one?
Yeah, it's especially tough when you're down and when you see these Finnish girls, they're serving up a storm. And that was definitely part of Norway's. They really, really dominated in their semi-final. They were just serving, serving, serving. And so it must be frustrating knowing they can do that and get a really strong serve. Just not quite there yet.
We'll have the side change after 28 points, 15-13. The Finnish pairs, we said, didn't win the group, so had to come through the round of 12 as well, and have had 3 back-to-back 3-setters, as that one, we said, Finland serving strong. Norway trying to answer, they had an ace on the last service side now, 1 hit, as Stina finds the middle. Stina having played in the European under-18s last year in Georgia, 25th place finish.
Very good.
And obviously both these teams, having won in the semi-finals, have earned their country a spot in the Europeans later this summer, as the service error is creeping up. And Jen, maybe just a little bit of nerves playing in as well here.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like Norway really goes for aggression on their serves. And I think, especially at times like this, trying to keep that aggression without making an error can get really, really tough.
As that one lands right on the tape. Lovely little deep roll by Iris, the 15-year-old from Finland. And she'll head back on the service line. First job, ball in place, managed to do that. And a good pass right onto net. Big left-handed swing by Steen. Pick up by Finland. Nelly gets it over, and Steen again. That one just misses the line.
Oh, no.
And we'll have a look at that earlier pickup, Jen. That was a huge defensive play because
Yeah,
Steen caught that one down the line. And that's textbook defense.
Yeah.
As a little roll shot.
Oh, finding the space.
It looked like Nelly was expecting maybe a roll down the line. That one going right too short on the sideline, well wide of the block. As Finland need to find a point or two here. As the little pokey goes wide, big raw by Uda. She knows that's a big one to get within 1 as we change sides. 18-17. And the Lions crew just clearing off the tape, making sure they can help with the calls. Obviously, it does help on the sand. You can check ball marks as well, but with an extra 2 line judges available for the finals, hopefully won't have too many debates, as that one just misses the baseline and another missed serve. And you think both coaches in end of set number 1 might be talking about serving.
Yeah, they're going to get a lecture after that, I think.
The only way to maybe avoid that is an ace. And the Finnish team pull that one off. And again, ball going straight down and moving with the wind. So, Nelly Walden on serve, and just misses the baseline. We were both peering at that one from the commentary booth. So, set point number 2 for Finland. And little roll shot, poke, and Steen can't quite deal with it. And that will be set 1 to Finland, 21-19 in this gold medal. And Jen will take a quick break and get her thoughts ahead of set 2 as we bring in Robin Clifford to the commentary box.
It's not even on my face. Hello, hello. Oh.
And Robin, appreciate you joining us. I know it's been a long day. You've had a couple of games.
Yeah.
But thought we'd just have a chat because we didn't catch up and just talk about your week a little bit. Obviously, not the games you wanted today, but
No, definitely not.
But just talk about the week and the improvement you had and the fun you had playing with Tilly.
On the first day, it was definitely interesting. The wind and just everything. It was like something we haven't been used to before. It was really windy. But I feel like our first games on the first day, obviously, we lost. And it brought us down, but then we did realise who we were playing. And it was like the level that is here is insane and how much they all train. But then I think yesterday was a great day. We had both games won. I was blocking, Tilly was defending like perfectly, and it was just working really well. And then our dynamic was so much better because we were just happy, we were controlling the ball and just having fun. And then today, obviously not the result that we wanted, and we came in positive, but you know, can't really fault them when they train so much together. It was insane. They are really good, and I think the pressure that they applied was really good. So.
And obviously a lot of young teams in this tournament. It is the under-18s, but you and Tilly both 15. We've got the 15-year-olds from Finland right in front of us now in the
yeah, it's
commentary box
crazy.
as well.
I didn't realise how young they were.
But just talk about kind of the development you've got with Tilly's, and obviously 2 friends. You live fairly almost around the corner from each other.
Yeah.
And just talk about how your chemistry is kind of evolving as a duo.
Well, at the start, obviously we got paired together and we had never actually become a pair before, so it was something new, but we were both excited because obviously how close we actually are. We were like, oh, this is perfect. We live 10 minutes away from each other, and training would just be perfect because our courts are basically on our doorstep. And I think our chemistry's grown so much since like the start of the tournament. It's insane because at the start I found maybe we would argue a bit, maybe like disagree quite a bit, but as it came on, we were just supporting each other more, and it was becoming a better environment to play volleyball in. It was nice.
That's a huge swing right in front of us. Good luck blocking that one.
Damn.
We'll have a look at that one again on the monitor. Yeah,
So sharp.
Perfectly lined. But that's the thing. That's the level that you kind of alluded to. It's like sometimes you feel like you're in the right position and not a lot you can do about it all the time.
Exactly, yeah. It's hard to block, especially with Norway, her being a lefty. It was crazy trying to block her.
I know. I was about to ask you that because obviously I asked Jen about the difference of playing with a left-hander, but she hadn't played one, and you did. You obviously played the Norwegians in the group stage on day number 1, losing fairly narrowly, 21-17, 21-14. So just talk about the difference of that left-handed swing.
It's adjusting the block, which is so difficult because you've got to obviously pull it in a bit further because she could snap it line but also hit cross so well. And then it's also making sure your partner can see where she is and communicating like where to be on the court so she can pick it up. But she is insane, to be fair, and she's got a really sharp swing when she does make contact with the ball nicely.
As Finland win that one off the block touch, so I believe we'll have a side change 4-3. And I mentioned it a little bit on the bronze medal commentary, but I know we were chatting before the game today, and just the support network you and Tilly have had recently as well to kind of help you prepare for these championships, because you said it's a big step up jumping up to international competition for the first time. So just talk about that support network that you had. Obviously, you played NEVZA last year, but this year a lot of different fortunes, because last year you struggled to pick up a victory, and obviously said getting into the medal rounds today was a big step. And you had a big smile on your face this morning.
Yeah, I was so excited. Obviously, being this young, I was expecting to, you know, play to my best this tournament, but not get as far as we did, and I'm so proud of both of us for that. We've had Kirk coaching us every Monday, which has been like just great. And then we've had our dads, because I'm flying on my forehead. Right, lovely. And then we've had our dads driving us everywhere, which has just been great because their support and their coaching basically has just been so helpful. And obviously the mums as well, just being that support at home, and then even after every game just messaging us, like talking about how proud they are and giving us tactics. It's just been really lovely.
And obviously you had a big England coaching team helping you
definitely.
Alongside as well. So big event as the Finnish go long on that one, and we're tied 5 apiece in set number 2. As Rose is joining us. This is set 2 of the first final of the day, the under-18 gold medal. And I've got 4th placed Robin Clifford with me as that ball just misses. And obviously you were sat just to our left watching set 1. What kind of took your eye in that set that obviously Finland just edged?
Number 2 on Finland. Her passing is insane, but then also number 1 sets for her. And obviously number 1 swing as well. It's just down the line, cross. And even, number 2 shots. Incredible. She knows exactly where to put it, and it's just really good to see.
Well, I think I'll let you go, Robin, and we'll see if we can get Jen back in. But we appreciate you joining us.
Thank you.
I know today wasn't how you wanted, but congratulations on a good week.
Thank you. Jen.
The thoughts of Robin Clifford, her and Tilly Hutton finishing 4th this week as Steen goes cross court. As Jen joins me back
Hello.
in the commentary booth. And Jen, obviously early stages of set 2, 6 points apiece. And what's kind of taken your eye, having time to think about that set 1 and early part of set 2, that the adjustments Finland has started to make on their game?
Definitely some big defensive players going on.
As that one rolls off the net tape and wide.
Yeah, there we go.
You were trying to look for the call and...
No, I was trying to look for what the score was at the moment.
Good one.
Helpful.
Yeah, indeed. It's obviously we're a little bit blocked out, a little bit low on centre court, but close to the action as well. So Norway 8-6 up in set number 2. As Finland having won that first set. As that one goes long by Irish. And feels like Norway have just settled down a little bit. We talked about the service errors just before you left, Jen, and at the moment it feels like they've been a little bit less aggressive, but a little...
Yeah, but sometimes the payoff of that is worth it, is if they can get a side-out point anyway. Not a side-out point, just a point in the rally. It's much more worth it than going big and missing your serve.
Easier to make someone earn it than give it away, as that's a beautiful serve down the line. Well picked up, block touch, and an amazing dig by Iris. The hazard of the beach volleyball court. But again, huge hustle play by Iris. Couldn't quite rescue that one, but I think if she'd pulled that off, I think we all would have stood up and applauded, because that was heading out towards the sea. As bump set, cross court, and that one just about coming inside the line on the angle. See how close that was to the line on the replay.
Oh, that's impossible.
Perfectly landed on the tape. Couldn't place it any better.
And you could see the defender trying to read and cut in the line, so the space was open.
Now swing picked up by Uda. And the turnaround on 2, pushes it wide. And Irish looks to the heavens, frustrated about that one. But the idea probably correct. Trying to just become a little bit less predictable, change up the speed and the rhythm.
Definitely.
That one tight to the net, but Iris did a really good job staying out the net. It looked like all the world she was going to crash into the net.
Not quite. Some acrobatics going on over there.
Jump limbo. Obviously you can go under the net a little bit more on the beach than you can on the sand, as long as you're not interfering with the block, you'll get away with it. And that service error for Finland means Norway lead 12-9 in the technical timeout. And we'll have a little bit more a chat about how both these teams got here, because we've been talking about doing it, haven't quite got there yet. So Finland through the round of 12, quarter-final and then semi-final, coming through 3 games, all going to set 3, Jen. And the resiliency of the 15-year-olds in particular to go through that, because in set 3, it's always open in a set to 21, but in set 15, all the mistakes, all the big points matter just a little bit more. So how impressive is it that Nelly and Iris have come through 3 set 3s on the way to this final?
I mean, it is amazing. And looking at the scores as well, I mean, these games must have taken ages and they must have been absolutely exhausted. So just to keep pushing like that is so impressive.
Well, the quarter-final against number 4 seeds from Denmark, Vestergaard and Bertelsen yesterday went 52 minutes. And that one was 15-9. And this morning they played a 43-minute game against their compatriots, the bronze medalists Misa Kiralainen and Anna Larksonen. So we'll have 2 Finnish teams on the podium. It's 15-11 in set 3 for the team in white in front of us. And the only loss in the tournament so far was to their group mates, who they beat in semi-final. So back underway, 12-9, left-handed pokey into the block. And again, the importance of the set, Jen, so clear. That one can't touch over the baseline angle, but we could see it from right in front of us. That was so tight to net, where as a blocker, really easy to line up because there's not a lot of shot choices available.
Good to see the wind take it a bit as well, so she was leaning. And another one, okay.
That one we could see right in front of us, that a little bit of a higher ball, and the wind definitely, as the gust picked up.
You can see her really aggressive on the net, just pressing it down.
And 2 important points for Finland. As we've got a ball on court. And our referee, Sarah Hanrahan, doing a great job to not even blow for ready to play until the ball had been retrieved. As that one lands perfectly on the tape in front of us. Don't think we'll see the ball hit the tape from the baseline angle. We'll have a look if we can. Right in the bottom of the camera frame. But perfectly placed serve. And they're always the hardest ones, right? In knowing that the ball's going to die a little bit with the wind, it's that half split-second decision of leave, block, and it's, sorry, leave or play. Definitely not going to block a serve. But just talk about it from a defensive point of view, Jen. Obviously, you play in that defensive role. Those serves and that depth on the baseline with the wind trying to factor in. Just how hard is it to really judge if the ball's going long?
It always gets really tricky, especially when you're against the wind and everything's dropping a bit shorter in. Means things have a much higher peak, and you kind of relax and think, okay, yep, it's going out, and it just clunks into you, which is never nice. But especially that deep serve right on the middle, it's so hard to judge who's getting it and what's going on, and to move back for it as well. It's a really hard position to be in.
So, timeout used after the run after the technical timeout. So all of a sudden, we are 12 points apiece in set number 2. Great fight back by the Finnish 15-year-olds Iris and Nelly as they look to win the NEVZA title, but Stein not going to make it easy, and there's another left-handed huge swing.
Yeah, not much to be done about that.
Obviously, these teams will take over from the British duo of Alice Jagielska and Molly Quinn as under-18 NEVZA champions. As that one tight, and they're going to call net or interference at the net as they kind of just impeded Stina just a little bit as she tried to rescue the ball off the bottom of the net. Our second referee all over that one. So ball way into the air, but that's no danger going over into the wind. And that is an overpass, and that's a kill-off.
Yeah.
And the Norwegians just struggling a little bit with the depth. So, all the teams on the right struggling with the depth. It's the Finnish team a minute ago before they changed ends, struggling with that depth of the wind. That is definitely a bit more gusty than consistent today. The one thing we have at least had over the 5 days of previous competition is a fairly consistent wind. It's the little pokey, great rescue off the top on the block by Uda. And the little short shot. And Jen, so frustrating from the defensive side when you know it's dropping short and you're just desperately trying to get there.
Yeah, especially when you've just been hustling for a different one. It's always hard to reset and find that calm and go again.
So 14 apiece, side change. So Finland with the wind in their backs. We're going right to left for those of you on the sideline camera. As a little little pokey by Uda. Lovely little angle into the corner. No chasing that one down. As serve just about played by the Finnish pair. Miscommunication, I think, on that one where the ball was going, as a little bit flat-footed in the backcourt was Uda. And could only put the ball into the Finnish side of the court under the net. So we continue point for point as the over set. The wind didn't quite help pull that one back into the arc. And Finland come from behind, take a lead of 5 points short of the gold medal as they look to close this out in straight sets on centre court. As Steen, much better angle off the net.
Off the block.
Played it off the block. Again, we've seen the importance of that first pass, being able to set up the offense so nicely. Get the set into the right location. That's a perfect pass by Nelly, and again, plays the hands of the block quite nicely.
That's what I really like about all the Finland players. You can see them going up for their swing and just taking a glance at the court to see where the spaces are. They find them really nicely.
So the ball a bit flatter on the serve by Iris, and that one off her hands. And 3 times in a row we've had hands being thrown, and the hitters making that adjustment, playing for the contact and the block out. As we go point for point, that one skims the net tape, doesn't affect the serve too much. And a little pokey, big pickup by Uda, and rolls it deep into the court. And a big celebration from some of the Norwegians, and they'll change sides 18-17, but Jen will again look at the depth on that. Over the top with just Nelly maybe thinking it was going to go short. You could just see, take not just lateral movement, but that step up as well, and that's what left a little bit flat-footed.
Oh, yeah.
And that one just missing the baseline. We saw the nerves maybe creep in late in set number 1 with service errors. There's the first one, so hopefully we don't get too many and the players can side, but Finland clip the net tape again on the serve, and that one deep into the corner, finds the baseline. Great piece of smart hitting by Uda, and they go 19-18, and line judge just double checking he's happy with the antenna, and he gives it the nod of approval. As the sun disappears behind a cloud or two. But players won't mind, as that one, talk about leaving a line on the side, that was perfectly placed on the tape. Referee going to shake it off because that ball was smack bang in the middle of the tape. And this is where no time for nerves now. 19-19, first to be clear by 2, as Groan says all you need to know about that serve into the net. Jen feeling the pain
I can
of
imagine
Team
the pressure
Finland.
with a score like that.
And it will be Stina Finnholt to serve. And that's mind games by Team Finland. Timeout taken. They're going to make a think about it.
Yeah.
So, Jen, just give us an idea of what goes on in these timeouts, because obviously you've got coaches with you courtside. How much of it is players talking? How much is kind of coach feeding back, tactical little adjustments and changes?
Well, I think we can see on the moment on the Norway side, the coaches drawing on the sand, maybe discussing a new game plan or something different defensively. But I think definitely the main focus for Norway at the moment is going to be getting that serve in and not letting the pressure of the timeout take that anywhere.
Indeed, good pickup, as who needs a whiteboard when you've got sand? It will be serve reception, so you wonder if he went through 2 options. What happens if the ball goes to Stina, and what happens if the ball goes to Uda? Just obviously both tall players, but both got slightly different hitting tendencies, so trying to draw up options where you're going to attack on the serve. So they are serving, my apologies. So where they're going to attack on the serve, and it is Stina Finnholt to serve. Set point, trying to force a tie break here in the under-18 gold medal game. And that ball off the top of the net tape as Iris lets off a big sigh of relief. I think she thought she left that one in the net. And we have a race to 2 points. 21-21. As the back set, and that's what the coach was drawing up. Little back set, first time we've seen that one for the lefty, and she buries it down the line. As that one deep into the corner. Nerves are still by Iris. We will change sides, 21 apiece in set number 2 of this final. And nice to see both teams not showing any sign of stress. And Jenna, how much easier is it in this spot as a player to be leading 1-0 rather than being 1-0 down and trying to rescue the match?
It's obviously you have the relief that, you know, if that set goes wrong, then it's okay, you have another chance. But at the same time, it's also really hard because knowing that if you've just lost that set going into the decider and just 15 points, it's so hard to keep that momentum. So I'm sure pressure's on for Finland right now.
Well, it definitely is now because they are set point down for the 3rd time, but don't have to play that one. That nearly a metre over the baseline. As the Finnish girls cheering on their teammates away to our left as Stina plays it off the block of Iris. And 23-22, Finland lead again. Sorry, 23-22, Norway lead. So again, Finland having to save set point. And it's set point number 4 for the Norwegians. That one low, well played on the pass. Off the net, and again, just a hand of the block of Steen. Too much for Uda. Steen, little two-handed play. She was in the right position, was Nelly Warden, but couldn't quite control it. And Norway continue to ramp on the pressure. Don't want to face a match point situation. So if you can keep signing out, you're always going to ask the question with the team on serve. As that one off the net tape, well played by Finland. And that deep into the corner, misses, head goes in the hand. And we are going to a tie-break, 25-23.
I think Iris and Nelly have probably had enough of 3 sets so far this tournament.
But it's a set they know how to win as well.
Definitely.
As the Norwegian team of Stina and Uda, who hadn't dropped a set all tournament, we're going to be in their tie-break. As you can see, the teams here going for the coin toss. We're going to try and read the coin toss from here. I think Norway won the toss, but I could be wrong because Finland looked like they were choosing ends. And it's a final really fitting of going to 3 sets, Jen, because there's not been a lot in this match across either team. Obviously, both sets going down to the wire, just a mistake here or there. So this could really go anyway. What do you think the difference is going to be in this 3rd set?
I think for the whole match, a lot of it's just been serving and dominance on the serve. Like, we really saw Norway come down when they were putting a bit too much aggression in their serve. It's a huge part because it really breaks the momentum in the game. So I think definitely that'll play a huge part. And it seems as well that blocking and playing off the block is becoming really big because I think both teams have quite a lot of reach on the block. So sometimes you can't go around it, you've got to go through it.
Indeed, and the Norway team, definitely one of the taller teams in the under-18 women. So, tie-break time here at the under-18 championship. The first final, fittingly going to 3 sets. As I think Finland have picked up a new fan. Way to our left. Won't embarrass her too much. As Jen talks about serving, and there's an error right off the bat. Norway get a 3-1 to start. As good pass, cross-court swing, I think he got a hand on the block as well, but way too short for Uda to chase down. And it will be Norway trying to find the side out, and they do. Perfect set. And again, we've seen Uda not really hit the ball that hard, Jen, in this final, but instead she's just really focused on placement.
Yeah, definitely making a move. She's really finding the spaces, which is good. But you know, she's come through with some good dominant swings.
As that's
Oh,
a
what a
one-arm.
pickup! Oh,
As a little bit of scramble, free ball for the Finns. This would be a huge point off the pickup, and they find it. But that is all about the pickup off the serve.
that is some two-ball bashing.
I think we're going to see the serve again, and that's
Yep.
the thing we all want to see. That ball was
What a
drifting in, and
pickup.
that way to her right. No fatigue. 4th three-setter in a row. And Steen responds with the monster swing. As they went to block cross, left the line, and the defense couldn't quite get there in time. And of course, the slight subtle difference of set number 3, apart from it being a race to 15, is we change sides every 5 points to make sure if there is a really awful weather day, there's not too much advantage.
Another two-ball.
As Iris goes on to, as Jen pointed out, finds the winner. And the tension just builds again. Nip and tuck all final long. Steen into the block, and Iris at the net trying to play it off the block as well. Couldn't quite get her body contorted in the right angle to play the ball. And the lefty from Norway, 16 years old, Steen Finnholt, on the serve, sprinting to net, comes back off the net as well, as no needing to block that one, and she goes cross court, and not a lot you can do about that. It's a perfect point, as again,
Yeah.
Finland seems to have started to try and block cross a little bit more on the left hand side of the court, and Steen's noticed that and starting to really attack the empty space on the back side. She serves into the net that time. And we 5-4 the Norway lead, as Norway have the first full break and 2-point lead in set number 3. Up next will be the under-20 women's final, as a lovely little pokey. Uda
Really finding the short corners today.
again, changing up the pace, the big hitting lefty and the more finesse right-handed Uda working well in tandem, and they have that 6-4 lead. As Uda goes sharp angle, that's going to go over on 1.
Oh,
Steen, a metre off the tape, finds the winner. That's a really impressive swing. That ball was way off the net tape. Again, that back row on Finland not just quite synced,
yeah.
as Nelly seems to be doing a lot of moving and the ball kind of being hit where she's going to.
Yeah.
As we get to another look at that ace. Again, the Finnish pair wanting to leave it, but Uda Skarland finding the angle and the depth, and all of a sudden Norway 3 points up. As apparently we have a challenge. Not quite sure why referee went with the line judge, and the good news is that the court team here have done an incredible job, and there's a little, what do you call it, Jen, 20, 25 centimetre border almost around the edge of the court, and it
Some
makes
nice
the
flat
ball
breaking.
mark really, really obvious.
Yeah, it's always helpful on the beach.
But credit to the court team, have done a great job of keeping the lines clear, so these marks are super clear for the officials. And good job by Michael Avery, our lines judge on there, to get that call correct. And it is the ace. So Norway starting to pull away. What have the Finnish duo got to respond? Well, we've got a defensive pickup. Both teams scramble. That's a tight roll, and there's a net touch by Iris. And that's all that hard work for Finland comes up short.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Norway have a 5-point lead and are looking in control, Jen.
Yeah, well, this service pressure would have been what they were looking for in the first set, and just couldn't quite find. But see, it really does pull them away, all those aces.
So Finland going to use their one and only timeout in the third set. As a couple of our volunteers try and just free up the flags that seem to have got caught with the lack of wind. And it has been such a calm day, and obviously you got a bit of the short straw yesterday, Jen. You seemed, every time it rained, you seemed to walk onto a court.
Yeah, it was a good time. Very sandy. But
I'd hope so on the
I
beach.
guess, yeah. I guess that is the English way, and I'm quite used to that, so that was all right. It makes the sand a lot harder though, so really get some big jumps going.
So, timeout concluded. The Norwegians ready to get going. They're already on the side of the net where the Finland players are, and obviously the camaraderie in beach volleyball as well. The amount of high fives you must give out in a day is ridiculous as a player.
Yeah. It's always quite sweet.
Most improved skill, handing out high fives.
High fives.
As the teams do at every change of ends. As big point for Finland out of the timeout. Steen gets a block touch. And Norway going to put it over, make Finland work for it. Steen again gets a touch on it, tries to rescue it for the second time. Can't quite manage it, but great work at the net by the Norwegian. Trying to really make Finland earn these points. As
What a serve.
again, the serve that's caused the most problems in this final, Jen, is that seam serve.
Yeah,
Talked
finding them
about
in the
it.
middle.
We'll have the side change at 9-6. And Finland do need to find some serving pressure here. This is probably the time you need to just take a few more risks, needing to find some points on serve.
Yeah.
Nothing to lose in this final. Both teams, or both countries, have earned European spots. The federations do get to decide which pairings go. As a big swing again by the Norwegians. You would like to hope, subject to injury, that it's these pairs that
Yeah, you would
do
hope so.
go represent their country in the European Championships. But obviously the depth of both systems
Yeah.
shining through.
And some quite young players here. So
Wouldn't like to be in those decisions. And that's a lovely little roll shot by Iris. Kind of delayed the timing of the attack, and that got Steen up in the air early, and that allowed her just to take a bit more weight off it.
Oh, that's just what they need right about now. Big serve to take the point. There we go.
And that one not going down the seam, that one going deep cross. And the big ace by Nelly, the slightly older of this pair. And by
Very.
older, I mean about 3 months, I believe, off memory. Nelly, a 2009 born, Iris, a 2010. Great to see 2 of our 4 teams in the U18s all both having 15-year-olds, as the Finnish 15-year-olds scrambling to stay in the point. Little poke on to from Older. And they move 3 points away from the championship, 12-8. And such a sharp, smart shot to go over on 2 with the defense nowhere
Yeah,
near set.
definitely.
Some of Jen's teammates seem to have decided to take some of the deck chairs around to the far side of the court.
They sure have. Oh, yeah.
As tight set, not the ideal set, but a little poke. Oh, using the top of the net, really smart by Iris. Not a lot she could do with that one, but try and just place it, and manages to win the big point. And now it's her responsibility on the service line. Low flat serve, going at the taller of the 2, and Stein's going to be able to hit, but finds the net tape. Overpass, good awareness, and that one goes long, and that's really unfortunate for the Finnish pair. They did such a good job controlling that rally, but couldn't quite finish it, and Iris looks to the heavens.
We'll put some respect on Nelly for the block.
And this Finnish pair have been flying all around this court. Seen a couple of times where they've been diving over each other. As that one into the net. And a 3B for Norway gets them in. The Finnish team into double digits. But now it's the time you need to make the move on serve. Nelly goes big. And that one misses. It can't have missed by a lot. And that is 4 championship points for the Norwegians.
Oh, gosh. Pressure's on.
Suppose you'd rather have 4 than 1. And does it in style.
Woo! And a serve to take it away. Oh, my goodness. Rips it down the middle. Wow.
And that's got to be one of the best feelings, ripping an ace on match point. You said nerves. No nerves shown there.
No nerves at all.
And your champions are from Norway. It is Stina Finnholt and Uda Skarland, the 16-year-olds.
Wow.
Having dropped set number 1, come back and take it in a thriller. 25-23, they won the second set. And 15-10. In set number 3, and they take away a very well-deserved gold medal.
Oh, look at those smiles.
Yeah, and Jen, obviously, always easy to talk about the team that win it, but also we've got to give a lot of love for the Finnish pair of Irish Havolina and Nelly Walden. The 15-year-olds put up a tremendous fight, and
incredible.
Point for point in set number 2. And just couldn't quite find a way to set up a championship point. But they've had a great tournament.
They sure have.
And the under-18s conclude. And our Finnish pair on the medal will be joined by their teammates. It was Maisa Kiralainen and Anna Larksonen with the bronze medal. And we'll get ready for the under-20s. I think our champions might potentially come over and have a chat. We're going to see if that's going to get lined up or not. But JC, if they want to, yeah. But Jen, we'll let you go. We appreciate it, and congratulations. And we hope you enjoyed this NEVZA.
Thank you very, very much.
Good job, you. No, it's fine. Ideally that one on your left of the 2, because that's Norwegian flag.
Because it doesn't matter what the result is. So they said that, and I said because they play also adult game, so they need to be able to.
I don't mind it.
Cool.
Yeah, that's fine.
After that is under 18, right? Under 18 boys and then trying to yeah, both. Yes, like it. But my understanding boys said that they have not. I said that it would be difficult to. I saw the game here, like I said, oh, maybe I can see something from Finland. I couldn't see it. Just so bad. I said that the only thing that they missed from yesterday, the under 20 boys, I said to the menu, they were allowed that every time when they were 10 or under, they were able to win a tie ball in the end. And they did it every other match besides Denmark, on from the quarterfinal. And then I said to them, okay, well, today you have to try the 360 jump for the set, so that you go and jump and turn 360 in the air and then throw the ball. And they made one.
So don't forget to get it off then.
I think I said. No, I think Denmark. Denmark is Finland. I saw one. Yeah, Skybolt. Yeah, Skybolt. Yeah. No, it was us. Yeah. Yeah, the ace for to end the first set.
Cool. So welcome back, and delighted to be joined by one of our two champions in the commentary booth, Uda. Congratulations. How do you feel?
I'm in shock, to be honest. I'm literally shaking because it was such an amazing match and it was really fun to play.
And just talk about the resiliency and the hard work, because for the first time you lost the set in set number 1. So what did you talk about to try and reset and to change the match in your favour?
We just talked about to focus on not doing so much mistakes and set the serve into the court and focus on serve receive.
And how important was your partner to obviously a fairly new partnership? Obviously you played a couple of weeks ago as well, but just talk about how much having Steen alongside you was able to help your game on the defensive end.
Oh, she's amazing. She's really supportive. I think we've played a lot of tournaments back home and we've gotten the chemistry going, and I think it's really great playing with Stina.
Well, we'll bring her in, but we'll let you go. But congratulations, you are a champion.
Thank you so much.
We'll hear from Stina just ever so shortly here on the stream.
Okay.
And welcome back to Bridlington. I've got our other champion alongside me, Stina. Obviously, you got European experience last year with the European Championships, and now potentially you're going back as a champion. How does that feel?
I think it's amazing, and it was amazing to play and like tight games, and yeah, and of course on center court is always fun.
And talk about your strategy in the third set. Obviously, the first time you've played 3 sets this week, but what did you talk about that was important for you to play free and loose in the final set?
I felt like the wind changed a lot throughout the game, but in the last set we're focusing a lot on like not making so much own mistakes, let them do the mistakes, because we had already won the second set. So I thought that we had a little bit of an advantage at that kind of. Yeah.
And of course, your support team as well this week. I've seen you with them all week. I know they're just behind us as well. So, how important were they to help you grow and get through this championship?
It's amazing that they have my back and that they are here to see me play. And it's always like nice to have someone to lean on to when you travel and you train and you practice and you have games. So it's always nice to have a little pause with them. And I have some people that watches at home as well, my grandparents. So it's nice that people are following us.
Well, we'll let you go. I know you weren't going to watch your teammates in the under-20s final, but congratulations on the championship.
Thank you so much.
They're the thoughts of your winners. We'll take a very quick break from Bridlington, and we'll be here in a second as the under-20 women's about to start on centre court.